Hi, welcome to the Popular Podcast. My name is Philip. First things first, let's look in the mailbag. Sasha H. writes, "A lot of music that's supposed to help people concentrate can often make me feel tensed up. What do you listen to stay both focused and relaxed?" Hi Sasha, that's easy. I listen to the original motion picture soundtracks from romantic comedies. But only the song from the movie that's about the protagonist's normal routine, like from the expository first 15 minutes of the movie. So it's really a playlist full of tracks that all say, I'm a young professional who's working my way up in the ranks of my chosen industry in this workaday world, and I'm confident in my delusion that everything is just fine. I encourage you to make your own playlist of these types of songs. They're usually the second track on any of these soundtracks. Be careful though, because sometimes the inciting incident can happen in the middle of this song and upset the flow and make it sound too negative. I guess that means that the composer was probably just doing their job, but it ruins the effect for me. I'm trying to exist in my own delusion when I listen to these songs. Everyone knows that accidents can and do happen every day. It's time for Everyday Accidents. Last weekend, after completing some chores at my grandmother's house, I needed to put away a key and some Scotch tape. The key is normally kept in a specific drawer. The Scotch tape is normally kept in a small basket along with different kinds of batteries. So I picked up the Scotch tape and I turned around to put it back in the drawer. But then I remembered it goes in the battery basket. Luckily, I remembered before it was too late. It was an accident. The important thing to remember when these things happen is to not beat yourself up too much. Just beat yourself up enough so that you'll learn from the mistake and hopefully prevent any similar accidents in the future. Here's a thought. Most art museums have too much art. I don't know why artists aren't upset about this. If you're an artist and you want to capture the attention of the public, why would you want your work to share a gallery with a bunch of other pieces? I always end up shortchanging whole wings of museums because I think I'm going to walk in and try to appreciate everything. Then I end up tired of standing and trying to decide if I want to keep going or just skip around to the pieces that have their own postcards in the gift shop. Art's great and all, but museums need to cut their quantities way down. I'm thinking one piece per room would probably do it. Maybe I'm alone in this, maybe you agree. Either way, you can probably guess how I feel about libraries too. Now it's time for a composting. A fair amount has happened since my last composting on the Popular Podcast. First of all, we stopped our compost pickup service. Now, once we fill up our scrap bucket, the plan is to take it to a farmer's market and empty it there for a small fee. We haven't done that yet because it takes us a while to fill up the bucket. We also recently experienced a couple of composting low points. We lost 2 whole bananas to rot before we took the opportunity to eat them, refrigerate them, or even make banana bread. There was also an apple that was sort of out of our line of sight, and it went bad. So we ended up composting 2 entire bananas and an apple. What a waste. Soon they'll be returned to the earth. Another composting update is that we now have a little closed-lid container sitting on the kitchen counter to put our scraps in. When it gets full, we empty it out into the large bucket that's stored in the garage. The container must work pretty well because there hasn't been any odor or mess around it. We've been putting all kinds of things in it, like banana peels, coffee filters, coffee grounds, grape stems, green onions, and eggshells. I'm sure our large bucket will appreciate all these new scraps. Before we wrap things up, it's time for household tips. Whenever our home is starting to feel too cluttered, we try to minimize and even eliminate possessions that don't serve a specific purpose. It's a helpful way to view the items in your home. Now, if you're worried that getting rid of everything that doesn't serve a purpose will leave your home looking and feeling too utilitarian and sterile, then try cycling in practical items that are also beautiful. For me, ashtrays really fit the bill for something that can be both attractive and useful. I personally don't smoke, but I can look at an ashtray and appreciate the fact that it's doing its job, waiting patiently for ashes. So here's the tip. If you're trying to decorate without overindulging, get some ashtrays. Bonus tip. If you want to ensure you're getting the most out of your ashtrays, then smoke. Okay, that'll do it for another Pop Filler. Thanks for listening, and remember, you'll be fine.